Well, welcome everybody. I'm excited for today. Thank you for taking your time to work with me today. Here's what I'll tell you, everybody. Obviously, the news media is over the top on what we're dealing with right now in terms of the coronavirus. I've been studying and working on this, what we're working on, I'm going to share with you today for a good 10, 12 days, really trying to get the messaging right, the strategy right for you all in terms of what you should be doing and the exact steps you should be taking. And here's the thing, everybody, it's pretty evident to me, as I've said right there in the workbook, that we're in a time that fundamentally there's a lot of things that we can't control. Meaning, right, we can't control the economy, we can't control obviously the real estate market of buyers and sellers, we can't control our prospects. The interest rates are obviously very favorable, but there's a lot of things that fundamentally are out of our control, but there's a lot of things that are in our control. And that's what I really want to work with you on today is good game plan, good strategy, some good scripts and dialogues to be able to engage with these people. Now, here's my hope for you all and for me today in terms of working together, right? I want to help you stay motivated even in this changing time. So we're going to work on that today. I want to help you serve clients and your prospects more effectively, certainly produce revenue and income in this challenging time. And today I'm going to give you really specific strategies, specific steps that you can take. You have some specific scripts in your workbook that you can fundamentally work from. And I'm going to go through those in detail today and how you should use them and engage with them. And again, the workbook, I've placed a link in the chat panel for you to be able to grab it. It was in your email, a reminder email that you got just a few minutes ago. So everybody, I'm excited for you to be here. Hey, let's get going. And if you turn the page, the key of control is what I'd call the 4 probabilities of success. There are 4 things that you can do and control the probability and outcome of your particular success. And these are the things you control. 1, your knowledge. Certainly, we have to be more knowledgeable in today's marketplace. The second would be skill, right? There are new skills and new skill strategies that we need to engage in. Third is certainly our attitude. And fourth would be our activities. Here's the thing, everybody. The activities we're doing right now, the consistency of certain activities and actions will do more for your attitude, more for your skill, more for your knowledge, more for your bank account, more for your service for your clients and the relationship with you than anything else. You've got to focus on consistency of activities to drive business. All right. Now, certainly, again, skills, we need to improve those. We need to improve those consistently. So there's some new skills that we need to engage in. And I'm going to go in deep with you today on some of those. But understand, everybody, it's about activities. And right, what is your system to act? I understand. I got kids at home at school, from school. They're going to be here in the house for the next month, month and a half, maybe. Right, I've got them underfoot, but I still have activities that I need to do every day. Here's the thing. When you break it all down, everybody, you have direct income producing activities, actions and activities that will directly produce income, right? Calling your past clients in Sphere, engaging with your leads, doing lead follow-up, obviously going out and showing property to a viable prospect in a safe way, going out and meeting with sellers or doing it virtually where you secure a listing and a listing opportunity. But ultimately, everybody, those are the small group of direct income producing activities. even though maybe some of you are having to take care of your children on a more regular basis because they're not at school, you have to maintain a modicum or a minimum threshold of direct income producing activities every day or every week. It's one of the most critical things you can engage in and fundamentally do. And it is very easy to get pulled off of that focus very simply, very easily. Now, I think you've got to look at the mix of your time, and I think you've got to understand the mix of your time, and I think you've got to recognize that maybe I may not have as much time to invest because of some of the barriers that we're experiencing. So I need to make sure the hours that I do invest create the greatest amount of revenue growth. I remember, and was thinking back on this in the last 24 hours, Joan and I, when we first originally built a home here in Bend, Oregon, I was selling real estate in Portland, Oregon. It was 1995. And we had to be on site, and there's a 2.5 hour to 3 hour drive between where we lived in Portland and Bend, Oregon. We had to be in Bend every Friday. Joan was general contracting the build of this house from Portland, sending her subs down, and we were building a very nice, really fantastic second home for us. And we had to be there Friday physically on site to meet with contractors and see what the progress was. And so I had to fundamentally shrink the amount of time that I was working. Meaning, right, we were in Bend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday every week. And obviously I've gotten known around the world as the guy that was able to sell 150 homes a year like clockwork, but only worked Monday through Thursday and took Friday and Saturday and Sunday off. I had to use the hours I had at a higher concentration or a higher percentage in direct income producing activities than all the other production supporting activities that we end up doing that pay us like $15 an hour. It's in the mix of your business in terms of your hours. It's not in your total hours worked. Now, that was forced upon me by a positive outcome, meaning building a house, having fun, having a second home, right, going to a resort community and living part-time there. That was a positive influence to that shift I needed to create in my business. Everybody, obviously, the coronavirus, maybe not such a positive issue, but ultimately you can use it to recalibrate your time and your strategy more effectively. And again, everybody, we all got to keep working here. And the reason why we got to keep working certainly is for the benefit of our clients and customers, the benefit of our family, the revenue obviously that we need to create, because obviously I'm sure you have bills to pay. And ultimately, we have also people in our marketplace that are much worse off than you that need the money, meaning they need our money invested in the marketplace. They need our money. Some of the restaurants that are closing down and are only working on takeout orders, we need to support them. We need to support the community in this opportunity. And we need to be able to create revenue so we can do that, so we can give back, so we can give back to the food banks, so we can give back to the people that are challenged in this economic time. That's what you need to do. That's, to me, what I need to do, right? And we need to be the calming influence here. Now, I know everybody's saying that, and I know your broker is saying that, and I know you've seen memes about that and all that kind of stuff out there, and there's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is people want to hear from experts. They want to hear from experts at this time. I mean, I feel honored that I mean, literally, we had 1,000 literal signups for this particular training session today. And I feel honored that there were so many of you that felt that I qualified as an expert to be able to help you. And so I'm giving it my all for you in terms of today and being able to help you in your business. People want to hear from experts. You have an audience that wants to hear from you, that you need to ignore the negativity and the swirl of that and focus on controlling what you can control and focus on the messaging that's in the marketplace. Now, we put a bunch of charts and graphs in the workbook specifically for you from an illustration standpoint. I didn't want to pop over to a screen share and video and back and forth. I wanted to make this really clean and efficient and take away for you. And so everybody, if you would turn to page 4 in your workbook at the top of the page, it's a critical graph, and it's a graph that shows the progression of sales. And if you look at it and you understand it, everybody, and I might pop to a whiteboard and do some drawing here in a moment, but ultimately, everybody, here's what you've got to understand. In the worst scenario we have had in the real estate industry, which was 2008, we sold 4.12 million homes. Last year, we sold 5.34. The year before that, in 2018, we sold 5.34. So the difference between those two, worst case scenario, is 23%. That is the worst case scenario, everybody. Now, do I believe that we're going to have a worst case scenario? No, absolutely not. But understand, that is the number that's the worst. Now, here's my question to you all, and I'd love you to chat it in. I'd love you to get engaged here. Could you, through changing your actions, improving your skills, even if worst case happens, could you, through your actions and activities, close the gap of that 23%? In other words, could you produce 23% more by being better, by being more consistent, by having better skills, by picking up the phone or texting or engaging or doing lead generation more consistently? Could you close that gap? And you should see the chat panel. Definitely, absolutely. Hey, Stacy Dillard, glad you're here. Of course, you say. No question, Greg says. And I'm in agreement with you. So reality, everybody, is this gap that's worst case scenario, non-issue, right? Non-issue. Don't buy into it. If it happens, so what? If you've made the right moves from what we're talking about today and giving you and working with you on to do, done. You're golden. Doesn't mean you can sit on the sidelines, doesn't mean you can put your feet up, but it means you can accomplish all your goals, everything, and you've got to communicate out to the consumer. That's worst case scenario, and quite frankly, the odds of that happening are about 0. All right? 0. And so I ask you, right, what system, strategy, steps could you take? And before your head hits the pillow tonight, you need to write a few things down. Now, I think we need to reach out to our past clients' sphere of influence, not for the purpose of generating referrals here, everybody. That will happen naturally and organically here. But there are 3 messages, I think, that are very simple that we need to communicate out to them now. Hey, Bob, are you okay? Are you safe? Do you need anything? And I want you to know I care. That's the message, everybody. Are you safe? Are you okay? Right? Do you need anything? And I want you to know I care. There isn't any other message than that right now at this time. Okay? And Patricia just chatted in, hey, I called my oldest clients recently and they were thrilled to hear from me. Absolutely. Absolutely, everybody. And so here's my advice to you. Be a connector. Connect with your people. Connect to help solve problems. Connect so they feel better. Connect so they know you care. Be a connector. Everybody, we're just in a health event that is expanded to something that's going to have an economic influence. That's it. Now, we've seen a lot of volatility in the stock market. I mean, goodness sakes, it was down 3,000 points, the Dow, on Monday. It was up 1,100 yesterday, and I checked just before I came on the webinar, and we're down 1,400 since early today. Everybody, I will tell you, in my opinion, I think that's the way it's going to be for a while, right? We're going to have these swings up and down, which is going to cause emotional distress. People are going to look at their 401k accounts and get a little wonky. And I think buyers and sellers right now are reacting more to the stock market swings at times than the virus. And I'm not minimizing the virus, everybody. I'm saying that the stock market swings are more public and right and concerning to many, many people. All right, our job, here it is. We're community leaders. We're leaders that are supposed to spread calm, certainly not fear, and you've heard that from everybody. That's nothing new. Our job is to be supportive. It's to be professional, community service oriented, help. We're a connector, as I said. Now, let me make a little caution. And I have to tell you, everybody, obviously my news feed at Facebook, etc., is filled with agents because I know a lot of agents and I'm engaged with a lot of agents in social media. But these memes that I'm seeing that are, making fun or poking fun, or videos or stories about, the things that we're seeing online related to the real estate industry, or hey, can you see yourself quarantined in this home? Ugh. I think we gotta put those aside, everybody. I mean, that to me doesn't lead to the right discussion, the right professionalism. It may be cutesy, but I'm not sure funny is what we need right now at this particular time with some uncertainty. And I would just tell you, everybody, your message, right? Hey, I'm here, I care, right? That's your message, right? Do you need anything? Are you okay? Are you safe? I care. That's your ongoing message, and it's not these cutesy things. Now, everybody, again, I've given you a bunch of charts and graphs. Go to page 5, if you would, in your workbook, everybody, please. This one I saw the other day. Showing Time is doing a weekly update on showing trends and showing activities, okay? And to me, everybody, what it's showing, if you're looking at it, top of page 5, is it's showing an upward trend in showing activities. That showing activity has not dropped. It's evidence of buyer activity when the seller says to you, yeah, I'm not sure that we're comfortable being on the marketplace because we're concerned about prices dropping or the pool of buyers. And everybody, it's not to, I'm not using it to convince them of safety and security. If they have safety and security issues, I think we have to have a different kind of discussion, and I'll teach you how to have that discussion before we're done. But understand, everybody, The indications are there is still a large pool of buyers out looking around and engaged. And Joshua, go to Showing Time, the software company Showing Time, and they update that graph every week. And so you'll be able to grab everybody that graph every single week. It's a great thing that those folks are doing for us, so you can see the nationwide picture. Certainly it doesn't indicate what's going on in your absolute local marketplace, but it does give you a good snapshot of the nationwide picture of what we're going through and what the activity we have. Okay, it gives you an indication of the pool of buyers that are remaining active in the marketplace. Now, here's the other thing. You need to do, everybody, all of you, you need to do a weekly review. Okay, a lot of you have been coaching clients of ours or taking classes and courses from us. We always talk about doing a market trends report, right, and a monthly market trends report. I would tell you, everybody, you still have to do that, and you have to do some shorter, tighter numbers every single week. So let me give you the numbers that you need to pull every single week. And everybody, this will take you literally 5 minutes, but give you powerful indication of where your marketplace is trending to very simply. One is obviously the pended sales for the last 7 days. The total number of pended sales, as Dan told Joshua, right, for Reno, total number of pended sales for Reno in the last 7 days, right? You want to do pended sales. You want to do new listings that hit the market in that 7-day period. You want to do pended transaction sales that happened in the last 7 days, the last week. You want to look at withdrawals and canceleds. And you can throw expireds in there, but ultimately withdrawals and cancels will likely indicate people pulling their home off the market to take a break for Corona in most cases, right? You got that, everybody? And then obviously we need total inventory. Now, the pending, let's go back to the very beginning, excuse me, right? The new listings is going to show you the market activity of new sellers that are hitting the marketplace. Certainly the pending is going to give you a snapshot in terms of the buyer pool. Certainly the buyer pool is 2 or 3 or 4 or 10x or 20x or 30x, everybody, what the actual pending transactions are. But it's going to give you an indication of people pulling the trigger, right? The withdrawals are going to give you an indication of who's pulling off the marketplace. And here's what I'm saying, because I gave this to a handful of my clients around the country to do in the last week. What we're seeing in all those markets, and I'm not guaranteeing it's happening nationwide, but I think it is really the pendings haven't dropped at all. In fact, they're trending upwards. The new listings that are coming on the marketplace, or at least the number of them, is at least remaining the same or growing. And the overall state of the marketplace has not seen any kind of change in these numbers yet. And I'm not predicting that there won't be a change, everybody. But what I'm trying to give you is this is the way for you to be first to see the changes or the trends. To look at this data once a month like we used to do, which was probably sufficient enough, is no longer enough or frequently enough in today's market. Got it, everybody? Right? Got that so far? Yes? We're good? Okay, now, you need to do one last calculation here, and it's simple, okay? I'm going to take the pending sales against the inventory to create a percentage. So everybody, let me do a simple number. We had 100 pending sales, let's say as an example, in Bend, Oregon, where I live last week. We have 1,000 listings for sale in Bend, Oregon. And I'm making these numbers up, everybody, just for easy math. I take 100 and I divide it by 1,000 and I have 10%. 10% of the inventory sold last week. If I'm watching that week over week and it's going up, it's going down, whatever it's doing, I can give good counsel to my clients, both buyers and sellers, in terms of what the trends really are. That number will be a clear indicator of the buyer and seller pool and activity level, and certainly even with the seller, the odds of their success overall. And yes, Melanie Cameron, great that you're here. Thanks for asking the question. Closed sales also, yes, very legitimate. We want to be tracking closed sales. And if I didn't mention that, I apologize. Thank you for reminding me, Melanie. I appreciate that. Right. It's right. Let me look at my list so I've got it real accurately here. New listings, pendings, solds, cancel withdrawals, total inventory, meaning total units for sale on the market. Now, you could choose to pull lots out if you chose to, because it's a minor section of your marketplace and only do single family residence and townhomes and condos if you so choose. But fundamentally, you're looking at, right, what were the pending sales, because that's the activity, right, the buyer pool, against what was the inventory to raise that percentage. Okay. And Sam, your chat is, I don't have a lot of people that I'm hearing are pulling back. And so here's the thing, everybody, you want to show numbers. You want to show simple data and numbers to help your clients make good, solid decisions for them and their family. And here's the thing, everybody, I'm laying it out for you and just telling you what I personally believe right now. My job is to give them the data and the information to help them not make a decision out of fear, but make a decision that's right for them. Use the data rather than just emotion and fear to make that decision. And once they listen and we talk and I consult them on that, if they choose to pull back, if they choose to go forward, if they choose to go out and look at homes, if they choose to list the homes, if they choose to say, hey, you know what, Dirk, we're really just scared, and the truth of the matter is this safety issue is very concerning to us, and they decide not to put their home on the market, hey, God bless them, that's fine. They were well informed, they evaluated things well because I helped them with all the information and data. And I'm not going to fault them for that. That's, you know, their choice is their choice. What we're getting is some people are reacting out of emotion or reacting out of lack of data, and they're reacting, not responding, right? They're reacting and not responding. Our job, here's really, if you get nothing else from what I'm working with you on today, write this down, but big bold letters. Our job is to convey the facts of the marketplace rather than just the emotions of the marketplace. Our job is to convey the facts of the marketplace rather than just the emotions of the marketplace. They're getting the emotions from everybody else, everywhere else, And we got to deal in facts. And yes, I do have that, Adam, on top of page 5. You're correct. Thank you so much for reminding me of that. Okay. Everybody, there's 2 other charts. It shows months of inventory now versus 07, 08. The reason why I included that is here's the deal, everybody. We'd have to have 2x, 3x inventory in most markets to even approach kind of 08 instability. That ain't gonna happen. Everybody, I mean, it's not logical, right? The median price of a home as compared to the income is so much less. There's a chart on that as well. Now, let me give you a couple of other things, everybody. And my news feed was choked on Sunday afternoon with when the Fed made their move, right, and dropped overnight interest rates to banking and lending institutions between 0% and 0.25. I mean, it was choked with agents making that announcement and saying, hey, time to buy, etc. All right. Melanie, I will put up the workbook again. It's right below your question in the chat panel if you want to go ahead and grab it, or anybody else for that matter. It was also sent to you in the email that you got reminding you about an hour ago of the session. Okay. Now, here's the thing, everybody. I think it's legitimate to post in regards to the Fed. I think that's a legitimate post, but you have to do it in the right way. And so, one, I would suggest that you all do this, but here is how it should be posted, everybody. It's not about, hey, rates are at an all-time low, Fed just moved the rates, blah, 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 right, hey, buy and sell now, okay? What I think you should do is express that the Fed has moved the rates downward, which is a good sign that the government and the financial markets are responding to the coronavirus. That they're injecting liquidity, if you want to use that term, that they are moving interest rate costs to banks downward. And then say that you see some opportunities in the Fed doing this, and ask a question like, if you'd like to know how you can benefit from this, text me or PM me or reach out to me or call me. Or if you want to learn how to navigate this better, reach out to me. Or if you want to know how this might impact you and other homeowners in the XYZ real estate marketplace, please reach out. Everybody, you don't want to go into the weeds of bond rates and interest rates and, hey, it's set by the 10-year bond and blah, blah, blah. And you also don't want to just do the blanket statement to buy and sell, right? It's a good time to buy, it's a good time to sell, because sometimes that sounds a little self-serving. So what I would say is focus on asking a question, right? Asking a question. Now, I had a real quick question that somebody chatted in the question line that I want to make sure I'm responding to. To get that percentage I was talking about, it's the pendings for the week against active inventory. Okay, pendings for the week against active inventory. All right. And everybody, then you do a call to action. Text me, email me, let's have a conversation. Everybody, it's about conversations right now. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going out and you're meeting at Starbucks. I get it. We've got social safety issues, right? Social distancing issues. You may feel uncomfortable doing that. Hey, I totally understand. I get it. I'm not trying to get anybody to meet face to face with clients at this point if you don't want to and you're not engaged with them. But here's the thing, everybody. You gotta recognize that, right, that we still gotta do business in this marketplace and engage in this marketplace overall. And here's the thing, everybody. Sales ratios will likely shift a little bit. And what I mean by that is, right, it may take 10 or 12 conversations now to generate a new lead or new opportunity. Whereas before it only took 8 or 6. It may take a few more leads to generate the same amount of business that you used to have before. That would be a common thing to happen. It's okay. I can up my game to still accomplish what I need in serving and revenue toward clients, even if the sales ratios are changing. And I would tell you, expect them to shift or change a little bit overall, and that's fine. It's not the end of the earth, everybody. Now, I want to dig into some scripts and some dialogues that I've been working on and working with everybody and helping you with this, okay? And if you go to page 7 on your workbook with scripts and dialogues, there's some primary base scripts that I would be using in today's marketplace. And I've given you a couple of different versions where somebody is giving you a little concern, and you say, hey, it's logical given the news that we've gotten recently with the coronavirus to have a little apprehension and a little concern about the real estate market and your personal social safety. In fact, Susie, I'd be worried if you didn't feel that way. Let me ask you, Susie, if I can, what's really your biggest concern? Everybody, this is not time for verbal judo, right? For 70s and 80s and 90s scripts. This is time to probe and understand your prospect or your client at a deeper level so you can fundamentally serve them and, most importantly, counsel them in the right way for them. I want to seek to understand, not play verbal judo with somebody. I want to be able to help them and engage with them and understand their biggest concerns and maybe understand the other concerns below that. Hey, are there any other concerns that are important as this particular one you've just shared with me? Okay, there are. Great. Please share that with me as well. So, right, the safety issue is your highest concern, and your second highest concern is the correction of the marketplace that you feel might be coming. Those two are your highest in ranked order. Are there any others? Right, I'm trying to understand. Now, everybody, write this down because it's not in your workbook. It's a bonus I'm giving you. There's a rule in selling. And again, everybody, we're not doing full court selling here, full court selling here. I'm trying to understand. The rule, though, in selling is a really key rule that not many people teach or talk about is the rule called the rule of 4. And the rule of this will help you in all situations, not just this coronavirus situation that we're in right now, everybody. If you master this, this will dramatically help you in serving clients and in convincing and persuading in situations that you feel it's warranted and beneficial for that individual to be persuaded a little bit. right? Maybe in a listing presentation, right? Where you're competing against 2 or 3 other agents and you're trying to highlight your specific benefits. The rule of 4 is this: most consumers make decisions to buy or sell or whom to use as a service provider based on 4 things. 4 reasons, 4 benefits, 4 services, 4 things that they can identify that you provide, as an example. All right, or that they want. Okay, that would be the other thing that they want. There are 4 things that they want. Now, you need to know what those 4 are. You need to be able to understand those 4. And here's the second and most important part, and do not miss this: there's a ranking order to those 4 in terms of the weight of their decision. Meaning the number 1 reason, if you understand what that is, and you have to ask them certainly, and you have to get them to rank it, the number 1 reason will carry 70% of the weight of their decision. The number 2 reason will carry 15% of the weight. The number 3 reason will carry 10, and the number 4 reason will carry 5. So number 1 is 70, number 2 is 15, number 3 is 10, number 4 is 5. Okay? I need to know that to serve a client well, to sell or align my services, or solve a particular problem, meaning the number 1 problem carries 70% of the weight. So rather than whip out my handy dandy objection handling strategies and scripts, I think in this particular environment, we are far better to probe their concerns and understand them clearly, organize them, and then respond to them and solve them. Now, I may not be able to solve number 1 because it's a safety and security issue that they're, over the top. And I'm going to give you some scripts and dialogues to deal with safety and security a little bit, everybody. So before we're done, I'll give you that. But ultimately, right, you got to look at this and this understanding and do the proper process. It is not old school verbal judo, right, engagement. Hey, I certainly understand you have a level of concern about the coronavirus in today's marketplace. And I have to tell you, I've talked with a lot of my buyer and seller clients about their concerns in the last week or 2, and what their best options are for them and their family based on their personal needs. And what is best for you personally, as well as for them, can vary. So let's invest a couple of minutes so we can discuss your specific concerns, so I can provide the really correct and right professional counsel and guidance for you. So then at that point, you can make, because you're totally empowered to do that, Bob, the best decision for you and your family. Is that a logical process, Bob? Does that make sense to you? Right? Whatever is engaged in that point. Okay? You need to have a good, strong base script. Now, here's the thing, everybody, in terms of scripts, if you don't like the words that I've used, I'm not going to be offended. These scripts work very well. They're very well crafted. They're very comfortable, both for a salesperson and a consumer. I am not trying to grab anybody by the throat and manipulate them or anything like that. I'm trying to have an open and authentic conversation. There's some transition scripts at the bottom of that particular page that are very effective transition scripts because they're true. And they transition the conversation to acknowledge to somebody, as an example, like one of the scripts, hey, this is new for all of us. There's no doubt about that. What I do know is fundamentally at some point in time, things will go back to normal, and this whole health event will be kind of in the rear view mirror for all of us. And that's a softening statement. It's a transitional statement. It's true as well that, this is going to pass. So let's make some decisions based on that and based on that opportunity. Now, everybody, if you look again at your workbook, I've packed a lot in it. I've packed key themes and reasons to highlight of why active buyers should remain in that active realm, right? 20%, maybe 30% of the buyers are going to pull back, but ultimately that creates less competition, and maybe they're going to be in a more advantageous position in today's multiple offer marketplace. It certainly doesn't hurt to continue to look and go out and preview property and see if that really great home, because here's the thing, you never know when that dream home, hey, gotta have it, home is going to come on the marketplace. And if we pull off in our searching, they may miss it. And that would be unfortunate. All right, with pending transaction, I don't think you can over communicate in today's marketplace. I do not believe you can over communicate with current clients, past clients, sphere of influence, pending transactions, especially, right? Active buyers, active sellers. I don't think you can over communicate. So I think the theme for a pended transaction, and I've given you 6 different thematic statements and strategies. One, they made a good decision, they made a good buy, they bought a high demand home, right? And high demand homes always appreciate at a much higher rate. They won in multiple offer situations. It's likely if we wait until the pool of buyers feels safe diving back into the marketplace, so to speak, that we'll have this pent up demand that will likely cause even more multiple offers at that time than we're experiencing right now. And are you okay with that? Great question, everybody. Are you okay with that? That puts the onus on them. It says to them, hey, I'm with you either way. But they still have to have the weight of the decision on them. Okay? And that's key. Buyers are on the fence. I've given you about 8 things that you can fundamentally do and illustrate and engage off of with buyers on the fence. Sellers on the fence, everybody. Sellers on the fence. I've given you 7, 8 things there, right? The pool of buyers is strong. There's still more buyers than there are sellers. I mean, certainly I don't have a crystal ball, and neither do any of you, but the trends are this. Everybody, here's the other thing that I would say to you. Running counter to the herd is one of the principal success tenets in life. It really is. I can tell you, I've been immensely blessed by running counter to the herd in a lot of situations, right? When everybody was scared to death of buying real estate in 2010 and 2009 and 2011 and 12, I was buying like a banshee. And I've been blessed beyond measure, more than I quite frankly deserve or should have, from that that willingness to venture out and take what was considered a risk, but it really wasn't if you looked logically at it. But I was running very counter to the herd, everybody, significantly counter to the herd. Now, I want to spend a couple of moments, everybody, and please stay with me. I may run a few minutes long today. I've never done this program before, so I may run a couple of minutes long on this, but I'm telling you, it's going to be worth your time to hear this, and you'll get a recording so you can absorb this, okay? Now, you're going to have some clients that want to withdraw from the market. You're going to have some buyers that want to withdraw from the market. And I want to give you some really good scripts and dialogues. Now, I'm going to give you a caveat, everybody. I saw some scripts that came out on Monday, and I have to tell you, right, from a prominent individual, and I'm not going to name names, but I'm telling you, they were horrid, right? And I mean, they were, you know, when you get somebody that wants to pull off the market, you say to them, hey, what's changed? Well, come on, everybody. That's pretty obvious, right? I mean, give me a break. Okay, and right, the client is supposed to say, well, it's, you know, it's the virus of the market. And then your response is supposed to be, hey, I get that. The market doesn't matter. Really? Is that the kind of adversarial relationship you want to have with your clients? Oh, I get that. And yet the market doesn't matter. Really? Or the client says, well, my concern, the prices are going to fall. And your response as an agent is supposed to be, well, then don't sell. But that's not a good reason. Literally, it's in the script. Are you serious? You're going to tell your client that that's not a good reason? Do you want to just create confrontation? I'm just stupefied by this, everybody. And so I've been working on these scripts for weeks, recrafting, and I've probably done 50 drafts of these scripts because I wanted them to be consultative, be caring, not be verbal judo. This is not time for verbal judo. Now, maybe I'm the only one that thinks that, and okay, I'll accept that I might be in a minority, and in fact, everybody, do you understand what I mean by that, you know, in this illustration? And I guess my question is, do you agree with me? And it's okay if you don't, but I don't really feel now is the time for verbal judo with individuals. It's we're here to serve, right? And I just think, everybody, we got to acknowledge when they're calling us or texting us or emailing us, and again, I wouldn't email back and forth with people on pulling their home on the market. I'd have to have a conversation with them, okay? Just because I need to and they need to. And I'm going to say to them, hey, you know, besides the coronavirus, which is why they're calling, is there any other reason you want to withdraw your home for the marketplace? And I'm going to probe. And then I'm going to say, hey, I understand and I appreciate your concerns. Can you share with me what your biggest concern about your home on the market is at this time? And everybody, you'll see it in the script. I mean, they're going to tell you safety, they're going to tell you security, they're going to tell you your whole health, or they may tell you they're concerned about prices correcting or dropping. I mean, that's predominantly what they're going to tell you. Now, is there maybe 5% that'll tell you something else? Yeah, maybe, but this is going to handle 95% of them in a manner that you're engaged, right? And then I'm going to say to them, first, I want to say to you that you're not alone in feeling the way that you do, and you're perfectly valid in feeling that way. Let me share with you my counsel that I gave another client just like yourself. Acknowledge that they're normal and you've had other people that have asked you about this. And then you go into, if it's safety, security, or health, I've given you responses right in there regarding to that. Everybody, you can move some levers. You can limit showing times, you can limit days of showing, you can limit access, you can limit, or compact showings, everybody, in a shorter period of time. All right, you can do all those things. Now, everybody, I want to, don't go. I know some of you are having to go, and I totally understand. I'm at an hour. I've got about 5 more minutes. Just hang with me here, okay? And I'm going to talk about really quickly. I'm going to take a real quick pause here in a controversial subject, but I'm not making a stance on this. The controversial subject obviously is open houses, right? We have the Northwest MLS, the Seattle area MLS that just shut down yesterday. The ability for agents to market through that portal, open houses. Okay, now I'm going to make a statement here, everybody. One, it's your choice to do an open house. It's your client's choice to do an open house or not an open house. Totally your call with your client. Okay, I'm not making a stand of you should or shouldn't do one. I am going to give you a different angle here, though. Okay, and that I have not seen anybody discuss or bring to the forefront yet, and that doesn't mean I'm the only one, but I just haven't seen it, and that is this. If I'm representing a seller and they've got a good property and they want to put it on the market, it's a hot property that likely is going to get a lot of activities and showing activity, for a safety and security reason for my client, okay, everybody, because I'm representing my client, the seller, does it provide them more safety and security by having compacted showings, doing an open house, allowing agents to come in and show their clients all in that one chunk that you can fundamentally control? Or would it be better and safer for your client for them to have 3 people today seeing the home, 3 different agents showing it, and 3 more tomorrow, and they have to go in and out and clean their home umpteen number of times in between potentially? Or they leave, showing activity gets done, open house gets done, and then they come back into their home one time to clean and sanitize their home. If I'm representing a client, as seller, I'm looking at that as the option that may be more safe for them. Not saying it is, but I'm saying we're missing the potential use of an open house as a safety strategy for our sellers. And again, I'm not asking for agreement. I'm asking you to say, yeah, that's a valid, consideration that I hadn't thought of, right? And that doesn't mean all of you should follow what I just suggested. It doesn't mean anything. It means a consideration that you should look at and potentially respond to. Now, if prices are going to fall, I've got scripts and dialogues for that they have that concern. And again, it's probing, it's understanding their feelings, it's understanding their conclusions, it's understanding where they're drawing their information from. Is it based on fact or is it based on emotion? I want people to have the facts. It's okay if the emotion overrides that, but I want them to have the facts. And I've given you a couple of really good scripts in terms of buyers wanting to pull out. And again, to me, you acknowledge it's the coronavirus. Besides the coronavirus, is there any other reason you want to take a break from looking at homes and buying a home? Hey, great, Susie, thanks for sharing with that. Besides the obvious safety issue that you're concerned about, is there any other concerns besides that? Right? Here's what I said to a buyer a couple of days ago that voiced similar concerns to yours. So I want you to know, Susie, yours are completely valid, and I understand your concerns. Let me share with you what I said to them. And then you give them some of the options of growing deeper in terms of the conversation. Everybody, we've got to connect. We've got to be the connectors. We've got to engage. We have to reach out to our past clients in Sphere and understand, are they safe? Right? Do they need anything? I care. That is the core. You need to make sure that you're spending enough time in direct income producing activities that drive your business. I understand this is an uncertain time, everybody. I do that. I understand that. We're in this together, all of us collectively, not just as a real estate community. I'm talking about everybody in your community and the real estate community and all of us across the country. We are in this together as Americans. We're, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to get controversial, everybody, we're not Republicans, we're not Democrats, we're not independents. We are all in this together as citizens of the United States of America and human beings on the planet Earth. And we are all in it together. And Rihanna, thank you for being here from Spain. And thank you so much for being here. And we include you in our group. So thank you. All right. Here's what I want to leave with you all. I am all in, and I know this is a scary time for everybody, but understand we will get through it, and I will do anything and everything that I can do for any one of you or anybody else. If you're having a problem, if you're having a challenge, if you need help, if you need and are going through a situation that, hey, I need a fresh voice, I need a fresh look at something, I'm confused, I'm frustrated, call me. Send me a private message. I'd give any one of you 15, 20, 30 minutes of my time to help you. No strings attached, no questions asked, no financial money changing hands. I am here to help. My staff is here to help. Whatever you need, whatever is problematic for you, I'm here to help you with a solution to help you. And so all you must do is ask. If that's you, if I'm describing you, ask and you will receive. My guarantee to you. So thank you for the honor of spending an hour plus with each and every one of you. I truly appreciate it. I'll stay on and answer any questions you may have. I've got a few minutes more that I can do that, and be delighted to do that. For the rest of you, certainly thank you for being part of this today, and be blessed, be well, be bold, right? And we will get through it together.